Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Carissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. How often do you feel like you're not really yourself? Where you're reacting to situations and then sitting there after questioning why you said what you said, or why you shut down, or why you were so emotional? And how often do you feel like you're trying to speak up, to make change, to push back, but it's like yelling into the wind? If you're constantly triggered, constantly circling the same emotional battles, it's worth asking, are you letting your ego control you? This episode will show you how to find true peace so you can finally get off the roller coaster of emotions. As you grow up and make sense of the world, a lot of the rules used to guide you are based on avoiding pain. Think of it like this: touch a hot stove, get burned, so you create a rule: don't touch hot stoves. This is a natural protective mechanism. But sometimes these rules are based on old emotional hurts or insecurities, like being criticized for speaking up. The rule might become, stay quiet to avoid rejection. These rules aren't about protecting you physically, they're about protecting your inner self. Your ego is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, and deeply embeds these rules into its operating mechanism. When something in the present even remotely resembles a past threat, the old rule activates. This is when you get triggered, lashing out, withdrawing, or defending yourself. Not from the current reality, but from an echo of the past. This protective script can become so ingrained that it feels like who you are, your identity. Yet, in trying to keep you safe, the rules often prevent true growth and peace, leading you to undermine yourself in a cycle of fear. The card inspiration for this episode is the Death card in the What to Release position. This card is one many people hope to not pull because we have been conditioned to fear death, the end of what we identify with, and that's what makes this card triggering. When you look at the imagery on the card, from the literal name to the Grim Reaper archetype with fallen figures under the horse's hooves, it's understandable that it invokes this primal fear response. But all these responses are reflecting your ego constriction and limitation to you. Realistically, we all recognize that nothing is truly permanent. From man-made structures and institutions to nature itself, all of it is always evolving, closing one chapter and opening the next. The Death card, while rarely interpreted as literal death, is a message of transformation, endings, and new beginnings. Now, when we think in terms of what to release, the Death card is challenging you to see the structures, the institutions, the beliefs, the boundaries that you've been upholding to create the perceived comfort in your life, because those are the very things creating your ego triggers. When you're running on autopilot and not consciously aware of where your ego is in control, you'll be on a constant merry-go-round of trigger reaction. In the heat of the moment, it's not always available to you to ask, what exactly am I reacting to? So you just react, and then you feel the swell of conflicting emotions afterward. And then when you're faced with the situation again, you respond the same way you did the last time, repeating the pattern over and over. Peace begins when you choose to step back, after one of these autopilot ego flares and reflect objectively about what happened, the trigger, and honestly acknowledge how you reacted. In order to transmute, you're called to sit with the dysfunctional energy so you can isolate what you want to change. The alchemy comes when you know what ingredients you're working with, the triggers, the underlying rules, the unhealed wounds, the unmet desires. The revealing of the ingredients gives you the autonomy to shift them, to observe them as they're unfolding, change them out of something else so you interrupt the pattern that has historically kept you stuck. I want to reinforce that there's a difference between apathy and acceptance in doing this work. Apathy kicks in when you sink into helplessness, like you have no control over any part of the situation. Acceptance is when you realize that the actions of other people who trigger you are not the pieces of the recipe you can change, that you're responsible for your own reactions, your own decisions, and you accept that. For those of you who are feeling stuck in your crystal practice, I want you to consider this. Your ego is most likely the thing that is keeping you from having the crystal healing practice you crave. If you keep fluctuating between the desire for a practice and the fear of starting, you'd benefit from exploring where you've internalized a rule around getting it right or created a rule around making a mistake. To find true peace, you need to be able to see where you're applying rules that keep you in emotions, thoughts, or patterns of behavior you don't want to repeat. And that comes from interrupting the patterns by reflecting on past ego flares, unpacking what got you there, and then with this new understanding, you'll be set up to see it unfolding in real time. The supportive crystal I'm going to offer today is Smoky Quartz, and here's why. Smoky Quartz is a grounding crystal, and when your footing is off because you're in an automatic ego flare or fight or flight response, it will firmly root you in the present moment. It will draw down anxious thoughts, helping you quiet the emotional overwhelm, creating the opportunity to begin observing instead of reacting. Smoky Quartz is known as a transmutation crystal, shifting negative energy or dense energy. While it draws down the fear, anger, resentment, self-doubt that fuel your autopilot responses, it also facilitates releasing the grip the old unhelpful rules have over you. This gives you the opening to start shifting the limiting beliefs and protective patterns you've been operating under. With your emotions more stable and grounded, you'll feel the protective qualities of Smoky Quartz. You'll feel more open to exploring the things you have previously avoided without feeling overwhelmed by vulnerability or being susceptible to external pressure that can muddy your introspection. Smoky Quartz supports the transition from a fear-based reactionary life to one that is more empowered and peace-filled because you're gaining clarity of your old patterns and ways of reacting. You'll see yourself in a whole new light with a newfound sense of resilience and stability by shedding the rules and stories that no longer fit who you are and where you are in your life today. So here's a ritual you can do to help you stop letting your ego control you so you can find true peace. You'll need some paper, a pen, some incense or a sacred herb, the Death Tarot card, and your Smoky Quartz. Start by holding your Smoky Quartz in your hand, feeling its weight and grounding energy. Focus your attention on your breath as you allow yourself to root into the current moment. When you feel fully grounded, take your tarot card and place it in front of you. Really look at the imagery and make a mental note of how you respond emotionally, mentally, and physically to the sense of inevitable transformation depicted on the card. Now think of a specific old pattern, limiting belief, or an automatic ego flare reaction you're ready to let go of. Tap into the feeling of being done with it, that it's something you're ready to release. Take a slow, deep breath in. As you inhale, be aware of the fresh, clear air and the peaceful energy of your smoky quartz. As you slowly exhale, visualize and actively blow that old pattern directly into your crystal, imagining the crystal taking it in, absorbing the density for transmutation. Repeat this step until you feel a sense of completion, and then bring your attention back to the regular pattern of your breathing. Allow yourself to recenter into your regular awareness. Before moving on with your day, cleanse your crystal with the incense or sacred herb of your choice to fully release the old pattern into its transmuted state. Today's pairing of the Death card with Smoky Quartz is from a recent crystal and tarot forecast inside the Charmed community. I invite you to join me in this free space where I share those readings weekly to help you align your energy and focus your week. You'll also get the opportunity to connect with others who are exploring their growth and creating change in their lives just like you. Join us for free. The link is in the show notes. And if you're tired of being on an emotional roller coaster, constantly juggling everything in your life, and you want to be part of a space that holds you in your healing, a space where you can feel seen, supported, and connected, I'd love to have you join me inside the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal. It's where we go beyond the weekly guidance and we apply it to your life, equipping you with the tools, resources, and support to build your confidence in crystal healing and emotional self-care. Inside, you'll get personalized coaching, healing sessions, rituals, and everything you need to truly empower yourself to live with more ease and alignment. Visit my website, 3charmedgems.com, or click the link in the show notes to learn more and join me. It's time to stop living at the mercy of emotional triggers and start living in spiritual integrity. The Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal is where that shift begins. Come and find your clarity. Today's episode has been brought to you by Death, Smoky Quartz, and Acceptance. May we all accept what we do and don't have control over so we can fully realize our true alchemical abilities. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.